This is why you've always got to pay attention. This is why, unbelievable. You know, our mind's been so focused on the Somalian situation, this Minnesota problem, this issue that needs to be resolved. Yes, there's tons of waste and we need to resolve it. But waiting to hear what the Republicans just did in Congress, what Thune and Johnson are working on while our mind and thought patterns are going on the Somalian situation. Waste, fraud, and abuse, and then all of a sudden they want to waste your money.
I mean, real Americans are so fed up with this type of fraud by Somalis because we feel that there's no mechanism for you and I to stop it. We watched the Pentagon fail like 8 audits in a row, $300 billion to Ukraine and no receipts for that. 178 countries in this world are being given our tax dollars while you and I are struggling to pay our mortgages and put our kids through school. Then we go to the polls and we elect people because they say they will be more fiscally responsible with oversight and blah, blah, blah. And then they get to D.C. and they vote for this crazy pork anyway. And then they criticize the one guy that does what he said he was going to do in Rand Paul when he votes no on all these crazy things, even when they're Republican bills. And other Republicans call him the problem. And we all get this is all we get from these people. Sternly worded letters to this person and hearings and referrals. And these people are bleeding us dry. They're skating criminal charges for laundering the GDP of Somalia to al-Shabaab. So here's something Trump can do to break the system. And I'm proposing a really bold solution here that he can do with a stroke of a pen. And no judge or even Congress can stop him, as we found out from Joe Biden. Trump comes out tomorrow and preemptively pardons every American who's been a citizen and resident of the United States for more than 10 years for not paying their federal taxes in 2026. And he should do it with Mike Johnson and John Thune standing right next to him. He should turn around to them and say afterwards, your move, guys. I just cut your $3 trillion of your revenue. Might want to start making some of those cuts. Drop the mic, walk out. You want to see Congress get serious about cutting pork? That's what it's going to take.
Boom, bam, bop, bada bop, boom, pow.
One thing will be for certain, once again, proving that Trump sees how frustrated we the people are.
It's unbelievable. Wait till you hear this story about the Republicans in Congress and what they're trying to pass. And again, it'll probably pass with flying colors because we realize how worthless these people really are.
Hear me out. You work for an entire year, you pay 24% federal tax, 5% state tax, that's 29% tax already. 29% of the year is 106 days. You're literally working 106 days for free before you even make $1 for your family. That's about how many days politicians actually work. Go to work, taxed. Save your money, taxed. 401k, taxed. Pension, taxed. Buy a car, taxed. Drive that car, taxed. Put gas in that car, extra taxed. Buy a home, taxed. Want to sell a home, taxed. You want to eat some food, taxed. Want a little drinky drink, taxed. Want to go fishing, taxed. Want to go shopping, taxed. Invest, taxed. Inherit, taxed. Die, you guessed it, taxed. And for what? To fund illegal migrants, foreign wars, and families scamming the system? Please! It seems we're in the land of the taxed and the home of the freeloaders. I think it might be time to spill some tea or something again.
We'll discuss that. Also, we're going to talk about what Elon Musk just stated. He said the quiet parts out loud. So important. Pay attention to what he says. It's chilling.
If tolerance means the end of Western civilization, then we cannot be tolerant.
And then we're going to hear from Joe Rogan. He came out and stated, look, you love him or hate him with Trump. He has done something that no other president has done. He made a promise and he kept it.
Lucas, back in October, President Trump sent a clear message to Maduro saying this.
Mr. President, it has been reported that Maduro offered everything in his country, all the natural resources. He even recorded a message to you in English recently, offering mediation. What should we do in order to stop that?
He has offered everything. He's offered everything. You're right. You know why? Because he doesn't want around with the United States.
A few moments later.
We are following breaking news. President Trump announcing the capture of Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro overnight in a large-scale U.S. military operation.
Attorney General Pam Bondi confirming Maduro and his wife have been indicted in New York on drug and weapons charges. The couple, quote, will soon face the full wrath of American justice.
It comes after explosions rocked the capital of Caracas and surrounding states. Early this morning, President Trump is expected to hold a news conference from Mar-a-Lago at 11 a.m.
It's the motherfucking DJ.
This should impact every city, and every city should be thankful of what's been going on. Drugs and crime are down by astronomical amounts of numbers. Joe Rogan says, to be honest with you can say all you want, but this was a Trump effect that made the difference.
All I can say, Larry, is to the American people, promises made, promises kept. Yep. Donald Trump told you he was going to do everything to secure this nation, and that's what he's done. No talking points, no silly blue ribbon panels that go nowhere, that do absolutely decisive action with results. That's what Donald Trump has brought here. Listen, nobody wants to be in an out-and-out trade war. There's other things that need to occur. But Canada and Mexico, both of them, had to know how serious we are. They are going to commit the resources. The president, in my view, this is a win for him. But more importantly, this is a win for the American people. Fentanyl has been killing more Americans than anything else in our country. The number one cause of death between the ages of 18 and 45. The drug cartels have had operational control of both of our borders, Larry. This has got to change. Donald Trump promised it, and he has delivered.
And then lastly, we're going to discuss going door to door to give your family these. That's what's happening in England, and could be coming to a place near you very, very soon.
Flashback.
And she is a medical professional who has insight on information that you're going to want to hear. Just go right ahead, Tina. Tell us what you've learned.
Okay. Since the Affordable Care Act came out, we are now, as nurses, required to ask every single patient when they come to the hospital if you've had your flu vaccine or your pneumococcal vaccine. If you say no to either one of those, in the computer an order will generate that says we need to give you this vaccine. We don't need to speak to a doctor. It's hospital policy. It's now health department policy that we now have to give you the vaccine. Even if you came to the hospital with a stubbed toe, you will be offered both vaccines if you meet requirements, which just about everybody meets requirements for flu vaccine. And most people over the age of 65 will meet the pneumococcal vaccine. Even if you come to the hospital with a stubbed toe, you are going to be given this vaccine. You have the right to say no. If you say no, they just check it off as refused. This was never like this years ago. This is a new thing.
And tell me what we were discussing before about surgery and your admission that you hadn't had these recent vaccines. Tell me about this protocol, because I don't think that people, in fact, I know that there are many people that are not aware of this.
When you go to the hospital, if you need surgery, you need a knee replacement surgery, first they're going to ask you if you've had the vaccines. You're going to say no. Mm-hmm. Then they're going to say, well, you need to sign this consent. If you're going to have surgery, you need to sign a consent. In the consent, there's a word called biogenics. If you sign the consent saying, I consent for you to give me biogenics, that basically means that they can give you anything that they deem necessary, including vaccines. So if you say you didn't get a flu shot, it's flu season, and you sign the consent that says, I agree to biogenics, they will give you a vaccine even when you're under anesthesia because you already signed the consent.
So you might not even know you received the vaccine.
Correct.
Is that correct?
Unless you go and get your medical records, you will not know that you got a flu vaccine. They may tell you at the end, oh, by the way, you're now covered, you got the flu vaccine or you got the pneumococcal vaccine. But 2 people now have reported to me last week saying that they got the vaccine, they did not want the vaccine, they didn't know that word biogenics meant that they're going to get a vaccine because vaccine falls under the title of biogenics. It's new terminology that I myself just realized.
Mm-hmm.
So
this is profound. So how can people, with your insight, protect themselves from being vaccinated against their wishes?
You can, when you sign consent for surgery, you can specifically say, no vaccines. I don't want this. Like, you can write an initial after what you say you do not want, and they have to honor that. And if they don't honor it, they can be sued.
Right. So we do need to be educated to protect ourselves.
Correct.
So anytime you go to the hospital,
yes,
you should be aware of their policies.
Oh, absolutely.
And you said it was biogenics?
The word biogenics is now being used. In the past, it used to be a consent that basically said we could give you blood products if we feel you need it. We could give you, other medications if we feel you need it. But now with the word biogenics, it's now including vaccines.
Profound. Thank you so much for sharing your truth with us, because this is information that's absolutely going to be saving lives and making a big difference. Thank you so much.
No problem.
This is something that you're starting to see in liberal ideologies embrace this mass coverage. And they said it could be something that liberal cities, liberal states, and even a liberal government would embrace, just what they're doing in UK. Wait till you hear this going door to door, authorities to make sure that they're giving everyone this in the arm. Wow. Let's discuss these stories today. Hey guys, welcome to our channel. Thank you so much for coming back. And again, we're so humbled each and every day that you show up and watch our content, because we hope our content is something not only uplifting, but that it gets you thinking to say, you know what, I see these problems for what they are. Now let's become the solution. So I hope that's what you really get out of these videos. Now let's jump into the stories of the day. First, let's talk about Mike Johnson and John Thune. I mean, when we thought things were getting better because Nick Shirley's viral moment, we hear Trump is sending everyone to Minnesota, we're locking down child care, the fraud, the problems, all that.
Hello, we'd like to ask where the money's going. What do you guys think about the fraud that's taking place here in Minnesota?
I don't think anybody is enabling fraud to happen.
Hold Governor Walz accountable for this.
What was this money spent on? 1.26 million. What was that money spent on? There aren't any kids.
Answer the question. Are there children? There's no children inside this building. Potentially the largest fraud scandal in U.S. history is taking place in Minnesota, as literally billions of dollars have been funneled through Somali-ran fraudulent businesses. So much fraud, it could actually almost replace the entire GDP of Somalia. These fraudsters have worked hand in hand with the Minnesota government as they enabled billions of dollars to be given to fraudulent businesses underneath welfare purposes. Some of this money eventually landed in the hands of terrorist groups in Somalia like the Al-Shabaab, and others enriched themselves all at the US taxpayers' expense. And in this video we will break down all of the fraud from start to finish, from going to the fraudulent businesses and confronting the people who are making millions of dollars from the government. And we will also be confronting the incompetent government leaders who let this fraud happen. And to make this happen, I met up with a man who's been doing his own investigation for years now, as he has seen the fraud firsthand. His name is David. Let's get into this and be prepared to be shocked.
Wow, that was going on. Listen to these two things. These two things that John Thune and Mike Johnson's been working on. This should make you sick to your stomach. Sick to your stomach. Senate Republicans request $5.6 billion budget for mass migrant resettlement, not away from here, but in the U.S., and cover all costs, including welfare programs for the migrants.
Americans are starting a tax strike rally. This is one of the leaders, Joseph Lehman. He's a libertarian candidate for U.S. Congress of Oregon. Joseph will be speaking at this rally on January 3rd. The message for this rally is, "We want our money back. Taxpayers demand accountability." Oregonians are standing up against the fraud, waste, and abuse of the taxpayer dollars. What do you think? Is it time to start seeing these all throughout the United States?
House Republicans requested $4.3 in the budget. So we have Senate Republicans requesting $5.6 to give to mass migrant resettlements and to cover all their costs in that program. And House Republicans are wanting to do $4.3 billion. I don't understand this. I don't understand why we're giving billions to mass migrants to live here to cause problems in America.
ICE Boston quickly takes down its next targets, including this illegal alien from Brazil who has an Interpol red notice for armed robbery. This Salvadoran illegal alien charged locally with rape and released by a sanctuary jurisdiction.
Señor, ¿cómo se llama?
And this Dominican illegal alien charged with assault with a deadly weapon and heroin trafficking. Officers also arrested this Guatemalan MS-13 gang member facing gun charges. ICE says he was released from local custody just the day before. Their detainer request was ignored because of sanctuary policies. And in a sign of shifting priorities with the new Trump administration, this man, who was in the same apartment as the target, was also arrested after ICE determined he's also in the U.S. illegally. This is what ICE calls collateral.
So you guys got your main target just now, but you got somebody else. What just happened?
So our main target was released by a sanctuary jurisdiction, not honoring a detainer. That person was released back into the community, and when we went to go find him, he's with somebody else who was previously removed from the United States. So he's going to go today too.
And that is exactly what border czar Tomhoman has warned would happen.
When we find the bad guy, he's probably with others that are in the United States illegally. They may not be a criminal priority, but we're not walking away from them.
ICE Boston says they will continue to go into sanctuary jurisdictions and do their job.
I get so mad. These people are so, it shows they know they don't care about your vote, and they can get the votes and they can get the power no matter what, because they're literally spitting in our faces. They're supposed to be voting against this, and look at what they're doing. This is why Trump will not get things done, not because of Trump, but because of the worthless Senate and Congress.
Listen, I need y'all to do me a favor. I need y'all to repost this video for me and get it out for me, because TikTok not letting my videos go out. They might, listen, I'm not going to lie, they might even take this one down. But it's time for us to say enough. Enough. We're tired. The American middle class people are tired. We're tired. We're tired of taking care of everybody. It's time for no taxation without representation. It's time for us to let the people in government, from the White House down, the local governments, the local electors, it's time for us to let them know they work for us, and we are tired. We're tired of taking care of everybody else. We're tired of our money going to Ukraine, to Israel, to these Somalis, these illegal immigrants over here who's telling us that they ain't going nowhere. They're going to keep getting food stamps. They're going to keep getting money. They're going to keep getting Section 8. We tired of all the fraud coming from these government officials, and they're taking our money while we are struggling. We're struggling just to put bread on our table. It's time for the American people to let the government know y'all work for us, and it's time for y'all to get fired. We are tired. No taxation without representation. If you are a middle class person that works, and I know some of y'all are going to be afraid to do it, and I know some people are not going to be able to do it, but it's time for you to go in and file exempt. In January, go in and file exempt on your taxes. If 1/3 of American middle class people that work go in and file exempt on their taxes, it will bring the government to their knees, and they will start listening to what we're saying, because no taxation without representation. We have not put people in government to do what they want to do, to send our money to Ukraine, to give our money to Netanyahu, to allow Netanyahu to come over here and control the country. We did not put our money into this country for that. We didn't put our money into this country for illegal immigrants to come into our country and live off the back of middle class tax people, to get on social media and tell us you're going to take care of us, you're going to continue to take care of us, you're going to buy our food, you're going to pay for our housing, you're going to continue to do this and that. We did not pay for our taxes for that. It's time for no taxation without representation. We're tired of people getting off, not going to jail. Tim Walsh should be in jail. Ilhan Omar should be in jail. Anybody who have committed government crimes should be in jail. We are tired of our money going elsewhere. We tired of prisoner telling the doggone president that he's not going to allow him to come in and get rid of these illegal immigrants. We're tired of Brandon Johnson. We're tired of these blue states putting up these doggone lawsuits against the president of the United States of America because he want to get these illegal immigrants out. We're tired of Trump also. Don't get it twisted. We're tired of Trump not doing enough for the middle class. We're tired of Netanyahu. We're tired of money going to Ukraine. We're tired of all this bullshit. It's time for no taxation without representation. We're tired of this. It's time for us to tell them, if you're not dedicated to the United States of America, if you're not going to pledge your allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, we want you out of office. It's time for them to put every progressive, liberal, rhino, Republican, anybody who's not pledging allegiance to the United States of America, it's time for them to go. No taxation without representation. And if just 1/3 of people file exempt just for 6 weeks, this government will come crumbling to its knees. And I know some of y'all gonna say, well, if we do that, then people not gonna get their food stuff. The government gonna be shut down. Be for real. The Democrats shut the government down, and people didn't get their food stuff back in October. and we were still paying taxes. We were still working, still paying taxes, and they shut the government down. So if we're going to have this fight, let's have this fight for the American people and the middle class. It is time for us to put them on blast, to let them know you work for us, we don't work for you. You're going to get your shit together, or you're going to continue to get out of the office, and we're going to continue to not pay our taxes, because we pay their salary. Every time taxes come out of our check, we're paying their salary. Every time taxes come out of our check, we're paying for these illegal immigrants to live better than we are in our own country. Every time we pay our taxes, we're giving money to Ukraine, to Israel, to Netanyahu, to Hamas, to whoever is getting it. Everybody's getting it but the middle class. The middle class is working, and we're the ones that's suffering. It's time for no taxation without representation. I get it. Not everybody's going to be able to do it. And I know some people are going to be afraid to do it, because if you're afraid to do it, I understand. And those who owe taxes and stuff, you can't do it. But if you didn't owe any taxes last year and you don't owe any taxes now, you can do it. If you just go in there and file exempt just for a month, trust me, it will bring the government to their knees, and they will wake the fuck up and know that we're not playing. It's time for no taxation without representation. And it is what it is.
Guess what else they did? This is from a group that's like a pro-beef rancher group. It says, look, this should be an emergency because of what Mike Johnson and John Thune are doing. While your family was worried about everything going on in Minnesota, while your families was in holidays, while everything that you focused on was thinking, we're getting better. This is getting better. Congress quietly snuck Section 453 in the spending bill. The Republicans, like Congressman Mike Simpson, Lisa Murkowski, Speaker Johnson, are helping pesticide giants not have liability.
What?
This is huge. Listen to this. Section 453 gives legal immunity to chemical companies, even to products that harm your family and your younger kids. It's a free pass for Bayer, Syngenta, and every foreign manufacturer dumping poison in the U.S. soil so they cannot be sued. No more immunity for corporate poison? No, wait, no. That's not what Republicans are pushing for right now. The leadership, the Republicans, Democrats, both are pushing for the fact that they want the poisons to be allowed.
What?
And no liability to the companies. If it harms you, gives you cancer, who cares? It's all in the name of good food, right? So while you were worried about Christmas and New Year's and thinking Trump's doing great things, and he is, because he actually, you're fixing to hear from Joe Rogan himself, you're starting to see the fact that this man is doing good things, but he can't do it alone.
I mean, real Americans are so fed up with this type of fraud by Somalis because we feel that there's no mechanism for you and I to stop it. We watched the Pentagon fail like 8 audits in a row, $300 billion to Ukraine and no receipts for that. 178 countries in this world are being given our tax dollars while you and I are struggling to pay our mortgages and put our kids through school. Then we go to the polls and we elect people because they say they will be more fiscally responsible with oversight and blah, blah, blah. And then they get to D.C. and they vote for this crazy pork anyway. And then they criticize the one guy that does what he said he was going to do in Rand Paul when he votes no on all these crazy things, even when they're Republican bills. And other Republicans call him the problem. And we all get stern, like this is all we get from these people. Sternly worded letters to this person and hearings and referrals. And these people are bleeding us dry. They're skating criminal charges for laundering the GDP of Somalia to al-Shabaab. So here's something Trump can do to break the system. And I'm proposing a really bold solution here that he can do with a stroke of a pen. And no judge or even Congress can stop him, as we found out from Joe Biden. Trump comes out tomorrow and preemptively pardons every American who's been a citizen and resident of the United States for more than 10 years for not paying their federal taxes in 2026. And he should do it with Mike Johnson and John Thune standing right next to him. He should turn around to them and say afterwards, your move, guys. I just cut your $3 trillion of your revenue. Might want to start making some of those cuts. Drop the mic, walk out. You want to see Congress get serious about cutting pork? That's what it's going to take. One thing will be for certain, once again, proving that Trump sees how frustrated we the people are.
When it's time to go, you can choose how. You can wait for enforcement, or you can leave on your terms. The CBP Home app lets you self-deport with dignity, directly and securely. Don't wait. Decide how it ends.
Crying harder. Crying harder. Trump is your president. Crying harder. Crying harder. Trump is your president.
On the 3 unfired casings read, "Hey fascist!" exclamation point, "Catch!" exclamation point.
Do you think Donald Trump is a fascist?
Yes, I do.
No one has ever been more dangerous to this country than Donald Trump, and he is a fascist to his core.
Hey, let me shut down the city! We are at war!
We're at a war right now.
We are at war.
So you have to be willing to do whatever is necessary in order to save the country.
And that's why the gloves are off.
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic.
And yes, there are many threats to democracy. We see it with these extreme candidates.
I just don't even know why there aren't uprisings all over the country, and maybe there will be.
But you can only push people so far. And then they start to take matters into their own hands.
What the American public want is for us to bring actual weapons to this bar fight. This is an actual fight.
You know, this is literally call to arms.
The MAGA movement is a threat.
But Michelle says that, when they go low, we go high.
No. With all due respect, if they go low, we don't go high.
When they go low, we kick them.
We take them to the mud and choke them out.
And make sure that they stay down. And you know what? Kick them when they're down, because they deserve it.
Get up in the face of some Congress people.
We are going to be in your face. We are going to be on your...
We have to fight this in the streets.
We're going to fight it in the streets. It's time to step out of your comfort zone and step out into the streets.
To our Republican colleagues, if you do not see the light, we will bring the fire. Resist! You and your little friend off of Twitter. Y'all about to find out.
And if you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd. And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome anymore, anywhere.
He's not going to have a third term. He may not finish this term.
That's the last few days you woke up thinking there might be news. Just saying. Just saying. There will be news sometime. Just so you know, there will be news.
I want to be remembered for courage for my faith. That would be the most important thing. Most important thing is my faith in my life.
But if you're not happy in the U.S., if you're complaining all the time, very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now. Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay too. But if you're not happy, you can leave.